In the last few days, we have seen two criminal courts in two different parts of the country give judgments that have sparked a lot of debate. In West Bengal, 33-year-old Sanjoy Roy, a civic volunteer of the Kolkata police, was sentenced to life imprisonment for the rape and murder of a 31-year-old doctor at the Kar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata. In Kerala, 24-year-old Greeshma was sentenced to death for the premeditated murder of her boyfriend, 23-year-old Sharon. In Kerala, there are many rejoicing the death penalty.
Sanjoy Greeshmയെ തൂക്കുകയർ വിധിച്ചതിനാണ് നമ്മൾ പാലഭിഷേകം നടത്തുന്നത്.
In West Bengal, there are protests. Even Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has said that Sanjoy Roy should have been given the death penalty. So this brings up the question, how do courts in our country decide who deserves the death penalty? Both the judges relied on the same Supreme Court guidelines. So why are the judgments so different? Let me explain. Your favorite Let Me Explain anchor Pooja Prasanna is on leave for a week. Remember, she's not like Narayana Murthy and she does take leave. So put up with me this week. But if Pooja's Let Me Explain has educated and empowered you, then don't stop with the comments and mails appreciating her, but become a paid subscriber. This really matters to us because we need funds to run a media organization and we are dependent on you for those funds. So do subscribe or do pay to any of our reporting funds. All the links are there in the description. In India, life imprisonment is the rule and death penalty is an exception. It must be given only when the life imprisonment appears to be an inadequate punishment. That is, in the rarest of rare cases. So what is rarest of rare and how is it decided? Are there guidelines? The doctrine of the rarest of rare was established by the Supreme Court in 1980 in the case Bachan Singh versus State of Punjab. Bachan Singh was a man who first murdered his wife and he was sent to jail for 14 years. After he was released from jail, he came out and went on to kill 3 children of his cousin. While giving him death penalty for his second crime, the Supreme Court laid down guidelines. 5 main things are considered. First is the manner in which a crime is committed, if there is cruelty and if it is unimaginable. Second is the motive. Is it a cold-blooded or pre-planned crime? Third is the socially abhorrent nature of the crime. If the victim was from a backward caste or the crime was done as part of a deep-seated social bias or if there was any intention of dehumanizing. Then the magnitude of the crime. If multiple crimes were done together along with a murder or rape. And finally, the personality of the victim. Was it a child, an old person, a vulnerable person, a person with disabilities, etc.? Courts typically consider whether the crime was so shocking and inhumane that a life sentence would seem like an inadequate punishment. In such cases, the idea is that death penalty must serve as a message to society as well. So what the court does is to weigh the aggravating circumstances and the mitigating circumstances against each other. Now, what does that mean? Aggravating factors are the ones that make an offence more severe. That is, a pre-planned crime is worse than a crime committed for self-defense or at the spur of a moment. It also looks at the severity of the crime and the vulnerability of the victim. Mitigating factors, on the other hand, are those that reduce the severity of the offence. These are the ones that give context to the crime and might make the court be compassionate. That is, if the crime was committed because the convict had no other choice, whether the convict has a history of committing crimes, and what his or her social background is. Let me also remind you here that when a death penalty is pronounced by a sessions court, it has to be confirmed by the High Court and then the Supreme Court. Now let me take you through Greeshma Sharon Raj and the RG Kar case in Kolkata. The trial in Sharon Raj's murder was conducted at the Court of Additional District and Sessions Judge A.M. Bashir. Greeshma and Sharon fell in love in October 2021. By March 2022, she was engaged to another man. But very soon, she rekindled her relationship and the two had a marriage-like ceremony. As the date of her wedding with the other man came closer, Greeshma tried to kill Sharon. The first time by giving him a high dose of paracetamol. When that plan did not work out, she researched about poison and used a herbicide with paraquat. Paraquat is an organic toxic compound. She mixed it in an Ayurvedic concoction and challenged Sharon Raj to drink it. The judge has given a lengthy explanation of why he has chosen to give the death penalty to Greeshma. He said the manner of commission of the crime was extremely brutal. He also said that she could not prove that Sharon was blackmailing her with intimate pictures. So it was premeditated, there was no provocation, and she had a clear motive. Now, was it a socially abhorrent crime? The judge repeatedly mentions that Greeshma and Sharon Raj had sexual intercourse and she enticed him with sex to come to her house. He also said that she searched 23 times on Google about poisoning. The judge says that Greeshma murdering in this manner has spread the message among youth that a girl can easily kill her boyfriend after breaking their relationship. He said, and I quote, "The offence was committed with an intention to create fear psychosis in the public at large, and it created panic among lovers and friends. It gave a message that a lover cannot be believed. And since a lot of people have live-in relationships these days, use and throw off a partner will send the wrong message to society," says the judge. The victim, which is Sharon Raj in this case, was deeply in love and he believed Greeshma blindly. Even at the deathbed, he stated that he had no complaint against her because he did not want her to get punished. The judge called Greeshma devilish and mentally defective. Now to the final question. Can Greeshma, a 24-year-old student, be reformed? The judge said a resounding no. And I quote, "Such a person cannot be reformed. There is no guarantee that she will not mix poison again in any other relationship." Now to the Kolkata case. The trial in the Kolkata Arjika doctor's rape and murder was conducted at the Court of Additional Sessions Judge Anirban Das. The trial began on the 8th of October and was completed quite quickly. The judge found that Sanjoy Roy was present in the hospital and in the seminar room during the time of the assault. There was CCTV footage of him at the hospital. His DNA and his hair was found on her body. So how did the judge decide the quantum of punishment? The judge says the brutality of the crime was a primary consideration. Sanjoy Roy strangulated, smothered and sexually assaulted the doctor. The judge says this demonstrated a level of depravity that goes beyond the pale of an ordinary criminal behavior. The judge also agreed that the victim was helpless in this case. He noted that the societal impact of such a crime is huge and the ripple effects extend far beyond the immediate victims and their families. There were no mitigating circumstances. Sanjoy Roy was not unwell, nor did he have any mental illness. The judge said Sanjoy Roy's actions were barbaric and brutal. So why did Judge Anirban Das not give Sanjoy Roy the death penalty but instead gave him the life imprisonment? The judge says the court should maintain its objectivity and impartiality, focus on facts and evidence, and not get swayed by public sentiments. He also said there is no evidence of any prior criminal behavior or misconduct by this convict. He also said that this was not a premeditated crime. Sanjoy Roy, who had consumed alcohol and gone to a red light area just few hours with his friend, had come back to the hospital and picked a convenient victim. There was no motive, it was lust. The judge concluded that the measure of a civilized society does not lie in exacting revenge, but it lies in its capability to reform, rehabilitate, and to heal. The judge says, and I quote, "We must rise above the primitive instinct of an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, a nail for a nail, or a life for a life." These are the reasons the two judges gave. Now, I don't want to give any opinion in the show because it's called Let Me Explain, but do watch our podcast South Central, where we're joined by two advocates who give their opinions on both these judgments. There, of course, is a larger debate on whether civilized societies should have the death penalty as a punishment. And even if you are okay with the death penalty, who are the people who deserve a chance to reform? And the biggest problem is that such punishments are given subjectively. Suraj S. Kumar, who killed his wife Uttara in Kerala using a cobra snake, was given a double life imprisonment. Dashwant, who raped and killed a 7-year-old in Chennai, was given death penalty, but now it has been stayed by the Supreme Court. Shyamjit, who stalked a woman called Vishnupriya in Kerala and slit her throat in her own bedroom, was given the life imprisonment. Let me also leave you with a few numbers. By the end of 2023, there were 561 death row prisoners across prisons in India, and in Kerala, that number was 23. That's it from me on Let Me Explain. Remember, we need your support, so do become a paid subscriber, do contribute to our reporting funds. All the links are in the description below. Have a good week.